speaker, Mr. Shantwan Saxena. A techno-commercial professional having degree in mechanical engineering, Mr. Shantwan is currently working with Apple Tree Building Maintenance Private Limited as Head Sales and Designs. Mr. Shantwan has been in the building material and facade industry for over the past 11 years with significant experience in the field of facade access systems and building maintenance, unit designing, project management, and application engineering. He believes in selling the solution to the clients with a consultative and problem-solving approach. Today, Mr. Shantwan will introduce us to suspension access equipments. So let's welcome Mr. Shantwan.
So good evening, one and all. So the topic of my presentation is Introduction to SAE. So what is SAE? SAE is basically suspended access equipments. So these are the content which we are going to cover during the presentation. So BMUs are the SAE which consist of a suspension rig. These are as follows: jib system, rivet system, monorail system, trackless roof trolley, twin track roof trolley, twin track parapet trolley, and the temporary suspended platform. So the safety requirement of the design, manufacture, supply, installation, testing, and commissioning are governed by the Unified European Standards EN 1808/2005. So why the suspended access equipment is required? So the prime objective is facade cleaning, facade maintenance, sealant replacement, building decoration during the festive seasons, signage installation, facade advertising, painting and minor repair jobs, lights and fixtures replacement, and facade installation. So these are the suspension equipments which are conventionally used: boss and chair or the chair hoist. Then we have single suspension cradle. So these two equipments are used where there is a constraint of the parking. Let's say some landscaping is coming. So in that case, we'll use a boss and chair or the chair hoist, where the facade area which has to be accessed is not much. While the double suspension cradle is used, where the facade area is more, and it has to be accessed by the two manpower or the cleaners. Now, as the buildings are getting taller and the complexity is increasing, we have different modern suspension equipments with us, like the pod cradle. The pod cradle is used where the facade is recessed by approximate 500 mm. Then we have swiveling cradle. So the swiveling cradle is used where the facade is recessed by approximate 1 meter. Then we have articulated cradle. The articulated cradle is used to access the recessed facade below the balcony, where the recess is approximate 2.5 meters to 3 meters. And above that, up to the extent of 6 meters, we suggest to use satellite cradle. So when we talk about the conventional system of facade cleaning, you can see the images in front of you. There is a Spider-Man suspended with the help of Spider-Man rope. And as the picture depicts, it is very difficult to access the facade. He's using the tucker pole. Now you can see the facade access is not that efficient. The cleaning is not efficient. It is not effective. He is facing difficulty in accessing the facade. And also if you see his feet, it's resting on the fin. And there is a possibility that it might damage the facade also. Then we have this tucker pole, which can be used to access the facade up to 12 meter height. So these were the conventional system which we have been using for the past 2 decades now. Now coming to the classification of the BMU systems. So largely the BMU system is categorized in the 2 parts, the fixed system and the moving system. So when I refer to the term fixed system, this is the conventional system like the jib system, rivet system, roof mounted or the parapet mounted, and the moving system are all motorized, which we'll cover in the subsequent slides. So this one is the jib system, parapet mounted jib system and the roof mounted jib system. In this case, the parapet mounted jib system, the brackets are mounted onto the RCC parapet, and in case of the roof mounted jib system, the brackets are mounted on the roof slab. In case of parapet mounted system, there is advantage that the terrace is not occupied with the facade access system. In case there are some MPV surfaces coming, in that situation, we suggest to use a parapet mounted system. Then we have David system. It is again parapet mounted or roof mounted. The David system is suggested in case there is some obstruction coming in the ground. It could be the canopy, the porch area, water body, or the landscaping, wherein we cannot park the cradle at the ground floor. So in such situation, we suggest to use a high mast David system. But this one is also heavy because it has to be designed according to EN 180 standards. And it is recommended to be used up to a height of 60 meters. Then we have this monorail system. On the left side, this one is face mounted monorail system. The vertical movement of the cradle will be motorized, while the horizontal traversing movement of the cradle can be manual or motorized. If we look at the ceiling mounted system on the right side, this one is the concealed ceiling mounted monorail, which we had installed in one of the 5-star hotel in Goa. So this is completely concealed. None of the bracket or the track is visible from the outside, and we can get the cleaning done with the help of a double suspension cradle. Coming to the modern system, as the buildings are getting taller and the complexity is increasing day by day, so we had to switch from the conventional system to the modern system. So now what is the modern system? So we have this parapet mounted David trolley. So we suggest to use this parapet mounted David trolley in case we have the RCC parapet, which is there to undertake the load of the system, and the requirement is to have a manual or motorized traverse movement. But the outreach is limited up to 3 to 4 meters. Coming to the parapet mounted BMU, here again the parapet mounted BMU, the upper and the lower bracket are mounted on the face of the parapet. And then the additional point in this parapet mounted BMU is the outreach can go up to 6 meters with the provision of glass replacement unit. Then we have this trackless trolley. In this system, the track is not required either on the parapet or the floor. Only a guide angle is there, which is required for the guidance movement of the trolley. Then we have this twin track mounted roof carriage. This is mounted on the slab and it runs on the twin track. The spacing, the track gauge of the twin track depends on the outreach of the system. It can go up to 30 meters, 40 meters, depending upon the requirement. But we suggest to use a fixed jib BMU up to a outreach of 14 to 15 meters. This also has a provision to put a GRU. If you can see in the image, there's a GRU also installed, which helps in replacement of the glass during the maintenance time. Then we have this twin track mounted telescopic jib BMU. So this type of telescopic jib BMU is required where the outreach is more. It's going above 15 to 16 meters and the facade has to be accessed from the terrace. The BMU can run either along the perimeter of the building or it can be mounted at the center of the building also. So from the center of the building, it can cater to the all projected area of the elevation. So this has the telescopic movement. So we have designed this machine in-house and it is currently in the manufacturing stage for one of our projects, and the outreach there is 27 meters. There are some players in the market who used to procure this material or the machines from the overseas. They're all imported. But we can proudly say that we have our in-house design team. We design this machine. We have our manufacturing unit situated at Binola. And then we have our planning team and the installation team. So it is all in-house done. It is indigenously made. Coming to the safety features of the equipment. So it is all as per EN standard, which is basically the Bible for our suspended access equipments. So in the cradle, we have different safety features like overload limiter, cradle top limit switch and ultimate limit switch, cradle bottom trip bar, push to run, hold to run push button, so that it doesn't accidentally push and the machine operates. And in the roof carriage, we have slew limit, traversing limit so that it doesn't hit. Then we have the PLC incorporated in the equipment, which controls all the operation sequences, monitor all the faults. It has configured with the VFD, variable frequency drive, to cater for the vibration and the smooth functioning of the BMU. And then electrical, mechanical movement, all these things are controlled by the PLC. Coming to the checklist for the decision makers. So basically what happens is there has to be a clear understanding about the requirement for the project. Out of all the systems we have just shown to you, there should be a clear requirement. What is the height of the parapet? What is the maximum projection? So based on that, we can come up to the solution. And it has to be finalized during the design stage of the project. So as per the CDM, which is Construction Design and Management Regulation 1994. So all this VME equipment has to be designed and freezed during the design phase of the project. Then there is the access. We need to access the direct and the indirect cost involved by selecting the BME system. It requires a lot of coordination with the different stakeholders. Like for the client, their prime objective is to use the optimum space. Then there are MEP consultants or the contractors who require to put their MEP services over the terrace, like solar panels are coming, cooling towers. They don't leave space for the facade access equipment. So all those things has to be frozen during the design phase only. One should have a apple-to-apple comparison. The design should be frozen, the technical specs, and the project completion timelines. It shouldn't be like that one is quoting for a different project with a different system and the other one quoting a different system. And then we have a comparison based on the prices. That shouldn't be done. It should be apple-to-apple fair comparison. The primary structure should be able to undertake the load of the system. See, these modern machines, they are quite heavy because they are designed to work on the taller heights, and the outage is more, the buildings are complex. So these are very heavy machines. So one has to take the consideration of the loads while designing the parapet or the roof structures. Resolving the clash with the MEP surveys is the major factor which we encounter these days, because all the terrace is occupied with the solar panels or other services. So this needs to be addressed. Finalizing the fixing detail of the restraining socket. See, as per the EN standards, if the building height is more than 60 meters, in that case, we need to put the restraining socket into the facade. But when the facade is erected already, we cannot put the restraining socket, and we fail to comply with the European standards for the restraining system. Because when we work at the higher height, due to the wind load, there is a sway movement into the cradle, which can lead to the accidents, which is not safe. To comply with the EN standard, it has to be frozen during the design stage only, and one should consider the restraining sockets. While concluding the system, one should be clear what type of cleaning cycle is required. Basically, if we categorize of a project, it basically comes into the three parts: the residential, the commercial, or the hotel industry. So in the residential, once in 3 months cleaning is sufficient. When it comes to the commercial, once in a month is okay. But when it comes to hotel, they want a cleaning approximate 15 days in a month, maybe 2 to 3 times in a month. So in that case, we need to have a motorized system. We cannot go with the manual David system or JIP system, because we will not have that effective and the efficient cleaning. So one should be aware while placing the order, what is the cleaning cycle required. Then we require the water and the electricity provision for the installation and the operation of the system. So this is basically the checklist for the decision makers which need to be looked into. Thank you everyone. This is from my side.